Welcome everyone to this regular city council meeting for Monday, October 7th, 2024. Marie, would you please call the roll?
Fritz.
Here.
Lowe.
Here.
McLaughlin.
Here.
Manetza.
Here. This evening we're scheduled to have Reverend Dr. Jared Kramer for our invocation. He couldn't make it this evening, so if you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So this evening we have one new appointment. Would you please read that?
Appoint Karen Lowe to serve as the Grand Haven City Council representative to the Northwest Ottawa Recreation Authority.
Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Fritz, second by McLaughlin. Questions on the motion? Call the roll.
Fritz.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Lowe.
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
That brings us to the approval of the consent and regular agendas. Could I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Fritz, second by Lowe. There is a correction that we need to make on the September 16th minutes. So should we pull that off from the consent agenda? Okay,
Yes.
so I would like to pull the entire item or just that one set of minutes?
We can move that one set of minutes.
Okay, I'd like to pull the September 16th minutes and treat those under new business. Any other corrections?
Yeah, I'd like to move E to new business. 9E to new business. Make it
So
10C.
that become new business.
10C.
Well, if we move the minutes to 10C, then this becomes 10D.
Right, sorry about that.
I was first.
You were first.
Any other changes? Can get a motion to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Lowe, second by McLaughlin to amend the consent agenda and new business. Would you please call the roll?
Lowe.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Fritz.
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. So if there's no other questions on the agenda, let's call the roll.
Fritz.
Yes.
Lowe.
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right. So that brings us to our first call to the audience. This is the first of two opportunities. At this time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether on the agenda or not. Those addressing council are asked to provide their name and address, will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. Council will hear all comments for future consideration, but will not have a response at this time. Those not physically present who would like to call in may dial 616-935-3203. Who would like to address council?
I'm going first because I have food in my car and I don't want it to get cold. So, hello, City Council members. My name is Oliver Champagne, and I reside at 540 D Avenue, Grand Haven. I'm interested in the opportunity to serve on the Zoning Board of Appeals, so I hope that my knowledge and experience I gain there eventually. I currently am studying public administration and sociology at Grand Valley State University, and through a couple classes, we've delved deep into the effects of zoning and the use of it, especially the history too. So I believe I could bring some thoughtful and new decision-making to those development of our city with that background in mind. I do want to mention, although I am running for county commissioner, I want to remain actively involved in my community in any way I can. And along the campaign trail, I've heard from quite a few people that I need to gain more experience. And so I'd like to do that in my local city, serving on some board of that manner. So I'm eager to gain that, hopefully. I'd appreciate your consideration in the future on this Zoning Board of Appeals, and I thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, thank you. Put in an application through the clerk's office.
I did already.
Okay. Who else would like to address council? Seeing no one, we'll move on. We're up to the consent agenda. Marie, would you please read that?
Item A, approve council regular meeting minutes of September 3, 2024, and special joint city council and Board of Light and Power meeting minutes of September 9th, 2024. Item B, approve the bills memo in the amount of $14,589,068.33. Item C, ratify an amended and restated power purchase commitment, PPC, that terminates the provisions of the previous PPC tied to the capacity purchase agreement and replaces it with the provisions contained in the replacement ZRC confirmation as approved by the Board of Light and Power. Item D, approve the 2025 City Council meeting schedule. Item E has been moved to new business. Item F, approve the performance resolution with the Michigan Department of Transportation allowing specific staff positions to apply for MDOT right-of-way permits pertaining to city official activities. And item G, approve a 5-year state trunk line maintenance contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation beginning October 1st, 2024 through September 30, 2029.
Can I get a motion?
So moved?
Second?
Motion by Fritz, second by Lowe. Any questions on the items on the consent agenda?
I just have one. On the city council meeting schedule for April, why do we move it from the 7th to the 14th?
So historically, we've always done that because GHAP spring break is the first full week of April.
Even though Easter's at the very end of the month?
Sorry, even,
Easter is at the very end of the month? I mean, the break is set for that week?
yeah, GHAP says it's always the first, their spring break is always the first full week of April. And that's historically why we've done that.
Is there any reason why we do that?
It predates me.
Just because it's always been done that way?
Would you like to
I think a lot
propose a
of it is
change? or-
because a lot of staff are off that week to vacation with their children.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
And I think historically, we had a prior city manager who had kids in school.
Well, yeah, well, that.
We like to take that week
He's
off.
long gone, okay.
So,
We also have employees that have kids
but
that
there's,
go to them.
and that's true, it's a light week for,
Okay.
People
I
around-
didn't know
people
that-
around town.
I didn't know it was that same week all the time.
yeah. And people in the public who want to participate,
Uh,
they don't
well,
show up, but they could.
I do have a question, though. Does that make us, yeah, that's a great question, though, about Easter. Does that put our meeting then on the Monday after Easter, or
I don't know.
We just,
does anybody know?
We didn't specifically look at Easter since it's not on the
No,
Monday. We
Easter's
usually
the
on-
21st.
We usually only account for
Okay.
holidays that are on a Monday.
Okay.
But it's your schedule.
we're good.
So, yeah, they moved it from the 21st to 20, Easter's the 20th,
Okay.
and they moved it to the 28th, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, we moved so instead of doing first and third, because of
second,
spring break,
fourth.
it's second and fourth. And then also keep in mind too, that we always schedule the budget work session in the middle there somewhere as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that might not happen. No.
Okay,
so it's a triple win.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, just asking.
Would you please call the roll?
Fritz?
Yes,
Lowe?
Yes.
McLaughlin?
Yes,
Manetza?
Yes. All right, first item of new business.
Item A, consideration by City Council of a resolution to approve a license agreement between the city and Norm's Dairy Cream LLC with a term beginning on March 1st, 2025, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the necessary documents. Administration recommends approval.
Can I get a motion?
So moved?
second.
Motion by Lowe, second by McLaughlin. Would Tim like to explain this? I guess I should.
I guess I will,
Well,
Mayor.
well, Tim, go right ahead.
The proposed contract agreement that is before you today is for Norm's Dairy Cream. Russ Robert came to the city and told us that his family was interested in selling his dairy cream business to Norm. And Norm wants to operate in a similar manner that they've historically run. Norm, of course, owns Norm's Ice Cream over on the east side and throughout West Michigan. And to calm everyone's, got a lot of questions of, are you going to move the ice cream shop from the east side? That's not the case. It's going to operate in a similar manner. We're going to keep the ice cream exclusivity for hard serve and soft serve as we have with our Temptations contract. The proposed agreement is for 10 years beginning March 1st, 2025 and terminating on February 28th, 2035. The license fee is for $17.50 per square foot annually with an inflation rate increase at the lesser of 3% or CPI, which is kind of standard what we've been doing. This agreement suggests a base rate of $9,189 annually, and that's a 9.5% increase over the previous agreement.
Okay. Questions?
No? Well negotiated, thank you.
I notice in this license agreement, we have taken into account that the next time somebody drives a car through the side of the building, we have a provision in there for abatement of rents. Because I think that was a miss that we had in the previous licenses.
We've clarified the language, yes, Mayor.
Yes, appreciate that.
And I think it's important if we can separate the utilities, I can understand why the tenants would be questioning
Yeah.
their bills.
And all of that has been accounted for. The DPW is planning to do separate metering, and that is included within this lease.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Please call the roll.
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item B, consideration by City Council of a resolution to accept the proposal from Right Way Plumbing and Heating of Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the not-to-exceed amount of $983,500 for the Department of Public Safety HVAC project, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the necessary documents. Administration recommends approval.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved?
Second?
Motion by Fritz, second by Lowe. Dana, would you like to tell us what's going on here?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of City Council. So about 10 years ago, in 2015, the Department of Public Safety had a new HVAC system installed. That was a fan coil system, or excuse me, sorry, not a mini split system, a VRF system. And that system has been a challenging system for us to operate and to maintain. It has given us issues for many years, starting back as early as I think 2016, 2017. We were seeing a need to have maintenance done on that system beyond the traditional annual maintenance that you would anticipate with an HVAC system. I have some technical experts here that can help provide some additional information about the various systems, the current system, and what we're recommending for you this evening. But essentially, the system that is in the building now is not really ideally suited for 24/7 operation in the climate that we have here within the city of Grand Haven. So also with that, to note, we've actually had Trane come in and they've been performing maintenance, but that maintenance has been under warranty and only covered the labor for the work that they've been doing and not the parts. So we anticipate at the end of the summer of 2025, so August 2025 is when our warranty expires. And we will be seeing a significant uptick in our maintenance costs related to the so with that, just between the maintenance costs that we have had on the system, the amount of DPW staff time maintaining it on their own and coordinating maintenance and things like that, We have been looking at new systems and had requested to include that in the capital budget, the city's capital budget, and it was approved with the current budget at just over $850,000. So we initiated some engineering with Ignite out of the Grand Rapids area, and they have been working with us to evaluate different systems that would be more ideally suited for the building. They put together a bid package, we solicited bids, and bids came in September at $983,500 for the low bid for Right Way. And we had another bidder that did bid a little over $1 million. So it is staff's recommendation that we move forward with the Right Way bid, given all the different dynamics that I mentioned, to ensure that we have an HVAC system that we can maintain more effectively and efficiently and will last us for many years to come and well beyond the 10 years that our current system has lasted us. I'm happy to answer questions about the process, some about the system itself. We also have John with Ignite here to answer any technical questions you may have here this evening.
Okay, questions?
Is there a guarantee,
A guarantee in terms of
period of time?
the
on the
period of time.
system? Doesn't show it on this agreement, I'm just,
Correct. There's not necessarily a guarantee. I mean, there's always some unknown things that may pop up, but, John, I don't know if you can speak to,
There's a warranty to.
Please come to the podium and introduce yourself.
Yeah. Good evening. My name is John Rumore. I'm a principal at Ignite Design based out of Kalamazoo in Grand Rapids, one of the 5 owners of the company. The bid documents did include a warranty for both material and labor on that, so that would be part of what's on the bid from Right Way currently. That warranty on the equipment, the chiller that would be going on the building has a 5-year warranty associated with it, so that any cost and labor associated with maintenance on that chiller for 5 years is covered. Contractors' labor is covered for 1 year, and most other parts and materials are covered for 1 year. That's pretty standard for this type of a project.
Are there extended warranties available with this?
There's extended warranties available for all the equipment, absolutely. Most of that also would get done through a service agreement that could be negotiated later with the installing contractor or a contractor of the city's choice.
something we may, and I think the mayor brings up a good point, something we should probably look into, because we don't want to run into what we ran into the last time.
Correct.
I'd like to also add, and I failed to do so, that after the bids came in and we started looking at them further, we had more discussion with Ignite and the contractor and subcontractor, and they did feel that their proposed bid was conservative. So we'll be continuing to work with them prior, if you decide to proceed, work with them to value engineer the project, similar to some other projects we've done in the past where we've come in a little bit higher than what we've anticipated, and we'll be working with them to try to reduce that cost as well.
Where do you anticipate saving money on this?
John, you speak to that?
Yeah, so the major area that we see right now is on temperature controls for the building. So the building includes a digital control system so that you can see it from phone wherever, so that city staff can see and maintain that facility from remotely. Talking with the contractors that's actually been doing a little bit of work in the building now, they're one of the subcontractors for Right Way. There's a couple of things that they think that we could reuse as part of that system. We had initially thought, to be more conservative, that we would replace it just to make sure we're getting rid of anything that has caused issues over the last 5 years, knowing that, you know, the system that's been installed really should be a 15 to 20 year system, and it's failed well before then. So it'd be working with them on trying to find more pieces and parts out of the existing system that we can reuse and repurpose. And that would be what would be helping to bring our costs down further.
I see.
Right.
I see there are a couple of significant ad alternates that are at the end of this bid. Are those something that we're pursuing? You have one for,
Yeah.
you have one for,
One's for the locker rooms
Locker room
and
cooling.
the range. We decided not to move forward with the recommendation to include those at this time, just given ongoing discussions about renovations or any other potential changes in the future with the Department of Public Safety building itself, we didn't think that was necessarily prudent at this time to include those.
Okay. You're putting in a single large chiller. There's just not a redundant system. It's going to be basically one large chiller associated with a boiler.
Correct. So there's 2 boilers in the building right now that have redundancy in it. The chiller is, there'll be one chiller, but it's got multiple refrigerant circuits in it, and it can run on one or the other circuit. So you would end up with essentially 50% capacity
Okay.
if for some reason a portion of the chiller failed.
I've seen that happen. I was a facilities engineer for a number of years.
Yeah,
I've seen everything go wrong at some point in time.
yep.
Okay. Anything else from anyone?
No.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Please call the roll.
Fritz,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Okay, next item.
This is our new business item C, the September 16th minutes.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with a motion to approve.
So moved.
A second.
Motion by Fritz, second by Lowe to approve the September 16 minutes. I would like to point out that it's page 14 in our packet. I think it's under new business. Items 24-190, 24-191, we were discussing selecting Copper Rock as a developer. And you have motion carried unanimously for the amendment and motion carried unanimously for the adoption of that. And Mr. Fritz voted no on both. Does that match your recollection, Mike?
Yes, it does.
That's true.
Okay, so I think we should amend this to say roll call vote appropriately.
Is there a motion for that amendment?
Can I get a motion to amend?
So move.
Second.
Motion by McLaughlin, second by Fritz to amend the minutes to reflect the actual roll call vote on those 2 items. So can we vote on the amendment?
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Fritz,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. Now let's vote to adopt the minutes as amended.
Fritz,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin.
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right, thank you. Next item.
This is our new business item D, which was consent agenda item E. Approve a resolution to accept the Sluka Field renovations Land and Water Conservation Fund grant agreement and the budgeted amount of $293,900 for improvements to Sluka Field.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, motion by Fritz, second by Lowe. Kevin, you had questions on this?
Yes. I see in the development project agreement, that the project total is $587,000. And in the description, it's $758,780.
There was a typo in terms of saving the document. I noticed it today actually as well, just before I came over here. It is $587,800 in the grant agreement. It's double. The grant is for $293,900, which is 50% of the project. So the city would be responsible for the other half of that, for a total project of $587,800. So I do apologize about the memo getting saved strangely for some reason, and those numbers getting a little mixed up.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So we didn't grow the project?
No, we did not.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I should have brought that up, sorry.
And no, that's fine, because I saw that also, I wondered. So I was going to question it. But the actual item we're approving is acceptance of $293,900 grant. Correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Back from anyone? Please call the roll.
Fritz,
Yes.
Lowe,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Manetza.
Yes. All right, unless I've lost track, that's the end of new business. So that brings us to report by city council. Who would like to go first?
Talk about your Tigers.
Well,
Go
Mike,
ahead. I'll be last.
I've got nothing to report tonight.
Oh,
Why don't you talk about the Tigers?
How about those Tigers? 423 feet. No,
there you go.
go ahead.
Fiesta.
Oh,
That was,
no, go ahead. Go.
what a great time. We went to the Heritage Fiesta we had. I'll tell you what, I went back for the concert, and the music was phenomenal, I tell you. I don't speak Spanish, so I couldn't understand, but I sat next to a guy, and he explained everything to me as I was sitting there. Asked him a few questions, and come to find out, his parents and him would come from Texas up here, and they worked for Zelenka's. And I go, really? I said, I know John Zelenka because it's part of my family's good friends. And so we just chatted a while. He just loved Grand Haven. Everybody I was talking to down there just could not believe Grand Haven, how nice it is here. And also, Karen and Bob and I, we carried the flag down through the parade of flags down through town. It was very interesting. It was a lot of fun. It was nice to be the, as I say, leader of the pack, shall we say. We were the first ones out. So I want to say thank you to my fellow members for being there with it. Also, Chowdown in Centertown. Wow, what an event. I tell you what, there was some fantastic food there. And if you, Kevin, if you wanted to putt, there's a lot of putting experience there for you.
We donated all the golf balls from American Dunes.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. It was fantastic. I seen a good crowd down there. I tried, I'm going to say I must have did about 3/4 of them. I did get a couple hole-in-ones, so I was pretty lucky with it, but the scissors one at Tender was the toughest one. I tell you, he had to hit it and go up and over top the scissors and come down. That was tough. Other than that, Tigers. What do I say about the Tigers, huh? I've been saying it all year long. It's one of my favorite things to say, but here we are in playoffs. At the beginning of the season, I think I said we were going to be in second or third place, but now we're in the playoffs. It's even better. I never even predicted them to be in playoffs, but what a great team. Unbelievable. Just, they play baseball like you're supposed to. Run, run, and run. They're very active, so it's really good. And that's all I have, Bob.
Okay, well, thanks, Mike. Kevin?
Although it wasn't in Grand Haven, myself and Councilwoman Lowe went down to Grand Rapids and watched Roosevelt Diggs play at Midtown, which is a really cool venue down there. And they were unbelievable. It was great to see, John out there with Space Fiddles. It was an unbelievable show. We really, really enjoyed it. But it's to bring Grand Haven out to Grand Rapids like that, and it was packed. They had a great crowd. So it was a really, really good evening, really nice evening. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay, thanks. We have some incredibly talented people in this town. Good to see them perform, and good to see them represent us in other communities. Yeah, I enjoyed Chowdown. Ate way too much, but it was worth it. And went to Art in the Yard. There was an art show at Baker Lumber for benefit of the school foundation. Another great event. There was a lot of great events this past weekend. Seems like we have something going on every weekend here. Even though we're into our autumn weather, we have plenty to do. So there's that. Coming up, of course, we have, I don't know how much of this Ashley was planning to cover, but I'll go over it. We're going to be having interviews for the BLP vacancy seat on Wednesday, starting at 5:30? 5 o'clock. Okay, I'll try to be on time. At the same time, same evening, at 5:30, we're having our fire prevention open house for next door at Public Safety. So hopefully people will come out for that. It's on a weeknight this year, instead of on a weekend. So that should be fun and interesting. coming up. We have the Washington Square block party on the 19th, which would be Saturday. We have Fall Fest coming up. We have all kinds of stuff coming up. There'll be a League of Women Voters town hall type get to know you meeting at Central Park Place on Thursday for school board candidates. The school board candidate race has been a little bit quiet, so you have an opportunity to meet people there. Encourage people to get out, and our yard waste is starting on the 19th on Harbor Island. So there'll be yard waste for our fall cleanup stuff. And Bones About Town is well underway. If you check out the bones all over town, people have skeletons everywhere. And some of them are really creative, including the ones hanging from our front door out here.
And I just want to know, am I the one on the balcony?
Yeah, we're wondering if people would think that was council up there.
Holding off labeling those, yeah.
Nobody will admit to being anybody in particular.
Fair enough.
A lot of fun, a lot of creativity, and just a lot going on. So appreciate everything that goes on in this community. It's a lot of, like I say, it's very gratifying. And that's pretty much all I've got. So turn it over to Ashley.
Yeah, I just have a few quick things this evening. So a few meetings prior, I was asked to review our current economic development contract and alternative opportunities. And after a thorough evaluation of our city's evolving needs and expanding priorities, I wanted to let you all know, as I've let the chamber know, I will be recommending at your next meeting that the city execute its 90-day provision to terminate the existing economic development contract with our Chamber of Commerce. As our community continues to grow and change, it has, throughout this process, become clear that our economic development strategies must also adapt. I believe that by exploring alternative avenues for economic development services, we can better align our budgetary goals and expectations of the role with the unique opportunities that we face, especially in the next 3 to 5 years. We're committed to fostering a robust economic development environment that meets the needs of all of our residents and businesses. And I think that this transition presents an opportunity to seek innovative solutions that are more closely aligned with our current objectives as we seek greater expertise in incentives and abatement statutes as well, and to overall remove any uncertainty surrounding representation. As I know that's been an issue that our body has been concerned with throughout the last number of projects, that being regarding who our previously contracted employee would ultimately be representing, whether that be the chamber, the city, or the developer themselves. So while I am going to be recommending seeking new partnerships for these specific services, as I've spoken with Mark, the city will continue to work closely with the chamber and will certainly maintain a positive relationship moving forward through ongoing membership and any other opportunities that arise.
Okay.
So that being said with that, unless there are questions at this time with that item, I will just also add that after a long and tenuous process, we are hoping to close on the Fire Barn building this Thursday afternoon. So our credit to our city planner, Brian Urquhart, who's been working very closely with the attorneys and Capstone. After a number of unexpected hurdles throughout the process, we're excited to finally see that project through. So,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
Good to hear.
It's a long time coming. Glad it's coming. I'm
Yes.
glad we're there.
We are as well.
Okay.
And that is all I have.
All right. Well, thank you. And on that note, we have our second call to the audience. This time, members of the audience may address council on any item, whether on the agenda or not. Those addressing council are asked to provide their name and address, will be limited to 3 minutes of speaking time. Council will hear all comments for future consideration, but will not have a response at this time. Those not physically present who would like to call may dial 616-935-3203. Who would like to address council?
Good evening. My name is Mark Allen, President of the Chamber of Commerce, Grand Haven, Spring Lake, Ferrisburg, located at 1 South Harbor Drive, right here in Grand Haven. The Chamber has a long history of providing economic development services not only to the city of Grand Haven, but to all 5 units of government in the Tri-Cities area, as well as the businesses within Northwest Ottawa County. We remain committed to fostering economic growth, supporting local businesses, and creating partnerships to drive our community forward. To further support our economic development work, the Chamber recently entered into a memorandum of understanding with Lakeshore Advantage. This partnership ensures our ability to continue providing hyper-local community development services while at the same time having access to additional tools and resources to support the needs of larger organizations in our region. As you review the recommendation for potential changes to the Economic Development Agreement between the city and the Chamber, I would like to ask Council to take into consideration the long-standing partnership with the Chamber, the benefits our relationship has provided and continues to provide to businesses within the city of Grand Haven and across Northwest Ottawa County, the commitment made to the additional economic development partners, and the fulfillment of the final phase of the current Economic Development Agreement and beyond. Continuing this partnership will allow our city and our region to remain competitive, prosperous, and positioned for future growth. I'd be happy to schedule a time to talk with each of you to answer any further questions about our work and provide any additional information. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Good evening. Scott Zylstra, President, Automatic Spring Products here in Grand Haven, 803 Taylor. So just following comment on this recommendation to end the agreement. For ASPC, right, we've been here 75 years almost. We have 350 people employed here in town, most of whom work in our office there in Taylor. Economic development's really important to us, and while there may not have been agreement on how Elizabeth did, she did help us quite a bit. In the past year alone, we raised $200,000 through grants that she helped coordinate with us, and she had, before she left, been spending time to introduce us into other avenues within the state for grant money. So understanding you have an obligation to assess it, but blindly canceling it without a firm plan of what you're going to do is concerning to me as we are competing globally with our products. And so while we employ a lot of people here, let's face it, we have to compete with companies out of Southeast Asia and Mexico, and that economic development is really important to us. So I would ask, before you make any decision, that you have a firm plan of how you're going to allow us to be continually supported here in Grand Haven. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? In that case, I'm going to close the call to the audience. And we have one final item on our agenda, and that is to go into a closed session for the purpose of a periodic personnel evaluation pursuant to the Open Meetings Act. So I need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Lowe, second by Fritz to go into closed session. Would you please call the roll?
Fritz? Sorry.
Yes.
Lowe?
Yes.
Fritz?
You said yes.
I said yes.
I called your name out of order. McLaughlin?
Okay, yes.
Manetza?
God help us, yes.
I got to vote twice
Yes.
today, yeah? Boy,
Mike.
I get to vote twice.
Well,
Special.
good thing you were.